Yesterday, I received an email from someone who was wondering how in the heck they could fix their deck that was out of level. And realistically, you can do it using most jacks, hydraulic jacks, floor jacks, screw jacks, you name it. And here we're looking at a side view. The dotted line, dash line, I should say, represents the level or a level line. And you can see here that it's sloping. Obviously, it was drawn that way. And realistically, if you want to raise it back up, all you need to do is grab a jack and a 4x4, something strong, place it underneath a beam. And if you don't have any beams and you're working with different scenarios, you're going to have to get a little creative here. I'm just taking an in general design that is the most common for decks using beams and posts. Simply jack it up until it's level and exactly where you want it. And again, you can see the distance between the post and the footing. Now here's something you're going to need to do. Once you get it raised, you're going to need to put some additional support underneath the structure. And you can see here I just put a flat 2x10, let's say, down on the ground, and another 4x4 underneath the beam. Now this is all going to depend on the size of the deck. If you have a small deck, you might not need to do this. If you have a large deck, something that's heavy extraordinarily, there's a lot of weight on these posts and on this thing here, you're going to need to put additional support underneath it. I mean, the last thing in the world you want is to jack something up with a jack that has a pivot point on it and have this thing fall down. That is not what you want. So when you get it jacked up, and again, if you're jacking it up and you're having problems, the jack keeps on kicking out, or it's falling back down, then you're going to need to scratch that idea and think of something else. Either get a larger jack, larger post, something like that. So again, do this at your own risk. Obviously, I'm just providing you with the one way to do this, but this might not be the best way. Only after everything is secure and you are comfortable with its design and it is not going to fall down will you remove the post and replace it. So that's about it for that. Kind of an easy tip, not too difficult of a task, kind of straightforward. One more thing I would like to point out is that you will need to make sure that you use a heavy-duty jack. You will not want to jack up something that weighs 2 tons with a 1-ton jack. I used to carry a 12-ton jack with me in the back of my truck for whenever I ran into something like this that I needed to raise. And that might be a little overkill for some, but just something else you're going to need to consider if you have something that is going to require a lot of pressure to move it or lift it, because it weighs a lot. Then you might want to go down to your local rental yard and see if you can get a adequate jack, something that's nice and heavy duty that'll move something like this.